This is today's Bible reading. Transition, prophetic account, David's reign. When Saul died, the Philistines must have assumed that their victory over Israel was complete. The government of Ishbosheth, Saul's son, had virtually no power, and David's rule over Judah was probably condoned by the Philistines. After all, David had been living in their land, and they considered him their man. If those were the Philistines' assumptions, they were wrong. Within an astonishingly brief time, David had constructed an impressive empire. First, he drove the Philistines from Israelite territory. Then, responding to an insult from Ammon, he sent his armies across the Jordan. By the time he was done, he had defeated the Ammonites, several Aramean kingdoms, Moab, and Edom. He was aided, no doubt, by the decline of the empires of Egypt and Mesopotamia, but his achievements are still impressive by any standards. In typical fashion, though, the biblical history pays scant attention to such feats of arms. Instead, the text focuses on David's behavior while his armies were off at war, especially on his affair with Bathsheba. This incident and its aftermath forms the heart of what is often called the succession document. The history of the succession document gives a unified and very detailed record of events in David's court up until Solomon, the son of Bathsheba, was crowned David's successor. Book of 2 Samuel, chapter 8, David's further conquests. After this, it came to pass that David attacked the Philistines and subdued them. And David took Metheg-ammah from the hand of the Philistines. Then he defeated Moab, forcing them down to the ground. He measured them off with a line. With the 2 lines he measured off those to be put to death, and with 1 full line those to be kept alive. So the Moabites became David's servants and brought tribute. David also defeated Hadadezer, the son of Rehob, king of Zobah, as he went to recover his territory at the river Euphrates. David took from him 1,000 chariots, 700 horsemen, and 20,000 foot soldiers. Also David hamstrung all the chariot horses, except that he spared enough of them for 100 chariots. When the Syrians of Damascus came to help Hadadezer, king of Zobah, David killed 22,000 of the Syrians. Then David put garrisons in Syria of Damascus, and the Syrians became David's servants and brought tribute. So the Lord preserved David wherever he went, and David took the shields of gold that had belonged to the servants of Hadadezer and brought them to Jerusalem. Also from Betah and from Berotai, cities of Hadadezer, King David took a large amount of bronze. When Toi, king of Hamath, heard that David had defeated all the army of Hadadezer, then Toi sent Joram, his son, to King David to greet him and bless him, because he had fought against Hadadezer and defeated him, for Hadadezer had been at war with the Toi. And Joram brought with him articles of silver, articles of gold, and articles of bronze. King David also dedicated these to the Lord, along with the silver and gold that he had dedicated from all the nations which he had subdued, from Syria, from Moab, from the people of Ammon, from the Philistines, from Amalek, and from the spoil of Hadadezer, the son of Rehob, king of Zobah. And David made himself a name when he returned from killing 18,000 Syrians in the valley of Salt. He also put garrisons in Edom. Throughout all Edom he put garrisons, and all the Edomites became David's servants. And the Lord preserved David wherever he went. David's administration. So David reigned over all Israel, and David administered judgment and justice to all his people. Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was over the army. Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was recorder. Zadok, the son of Ahitub, and Ahimelech, the son of Abiathar, were the priests. Seraiah was the scribe. Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, was over both the Cherethites and the Pelethites, and David's sons were chief ministers. Chapter 9 of 2 Samuel, David's kindness to Mephibosheth. Now David said, "Is there still anyone who is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" And there was a servant of the house of Saul, whose name was Ziba. So when they had called him to David, the king said to him, "Are you Ziba?" He said, "At your service." Then the king said, "Is there not still someone of the house of Saul to whom I may show the kindness of God?" And Ziba said to the king, "There is still a son of Jonathan who is lame in his feet." So the king said to him, "Where is he?" And Ziba said to the king, "Indeed, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, in Lo-debar." The king David sent and brought him out of the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, from Lo-debar. Now when Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, had come to David, he fell on his face and prostrated himself. Then David said, "Mephibosheth?" And he answered, "Here is your servant." So David said to him, "Do not fear, for I will surely show you kindness for Jonathan your father's sake, and will restore to you all the land of Saul your grandfather, and you shall eat bread at my table continually." Then he bowed himself and said, "What is your servant, that you should look upon such a dead dog as I?" And the king called to Ziba, Saul's servant, and said to him, "I've given to your master's son all that belonged to Saul and to all his house. You therefore and your sons and your servants shall work the land for him, and you shall bring in the harvest, that your master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, your master's son, shall eat bread at my table always." Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. Then Ziba said to the king, "According to all that my lord the king has commanded his servant, so will your servant do." "As for Mephibosheth," said the king, "he shall eat at my table like one of the king's sons." Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah, and all who dwelt in the house of Ziba were servants of Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he ate continually at the king's table, and he was lame in both his feet. Chapter 10. The Ammonites and Syrians defeated. It happened after this that the king of the people of Ammon died, and Hanun his son reigned in his place. Then David said, "I will show kindness to Hanun the son of Nahash, as his father showed it kindness to me." So David sent by the hand of his servants to comfort him concerning his father. And David's servants came into the land of the people of Ammon. And the princes of the people of Ammon said to Hanun their lord, "Do you think that David really honors your father because he has sent comforters to you? Has David not rather sent his servants to you to search the city, to spy it out and overthrow it?" Therefore Hanun took David's servants, shaved off half of their beards, cut off their garments in the middle, at their buttocks, and sent them away. When they told David, he sent to meet them, because the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, "Wait at Jericho until your beards have grown," and they returned. When the people of Ammon saw that they had made themselves repulsive to David, the people of Ammon sent and hired the Syrians of Beth-rehob and the Syrians of Zobah, 20,000 foot soldiers, and from the king of Makkah 1,000 men, and from Ishtob 12,000 men. Now when David heard of it, he sent Joab and all the army of the mighty men. Then the people of Ammon came out and put themselves in battle array at the entrance of the gate. And the Syrians of Zobah, Beth-rehob, Ishtob, and Maacah were by themselves in the field. When Joab saw that the battle line was against him, before and behind, he chose some of Israel's best and put them in battle array against the Syrians. And the rest of the people he put under the command of Abishai his brother, that he might set them in battle array against the people of Ammon. Then he said, If the Syrians are too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the people of Ammon are too strong for you, then I will come and help you. Be of good courage, and let us be strong for our people and for the cities of our God, and may the Lord do what is good in his sight. So Joab and the people who were with him drew near for the battle against the Syrians, and they fled before him. When the people of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fleeing, they also fled before Abishai and entered the city. So Joab returned from the people of Ammon and went to Jerusalem. When the Syrians saw that they had been defeated by Israel, they gathered together. Then Hadadezer sent and brought out the Syrians who were beyond the river, and they came to Helam. And Shobach, the commander of Hadadezer's army, went before them. When it was told to David, he gathered all Israel, crossed over the Jordan, and came to Helam. And the Syrians set themselves in battle array against David and fought with them. Then the Syrians fled before Israel, and David killed 700 charioteers and 40,000 horsemen of the Syrians, and struck Shobach, the commander of their army, who died there. And when all the kings who were servants to Hadadezer saw that they were defeated by Israel, they made peace with Israel and served them. So the Syrians were afraid to help the people of Ammon anymore. You dirty dead dog, 2 Samuel 9:8. The dog was the earliest domesticated animal, providing companionship for humans. Yet in the Bible, the term dog is often applied figuratively to worthless or wicked persons. The profit from the sale of a dog was compared to the prince of prostitute, and neither was supposed to be donated to the sanctuary because both dogs and prostitutes were an abomination to Israel's God. In important ways, dogs and pigs were thought by ancient people to be alike. Both were scavengers, and both ran wild, if not controlled. In some ancient Near Eastern societies, dogs and pigs were associated with or substituted for each other in religious rituals. Interestingly enough, the part dogs or pigs played in these rituals was as agents for cleansing, with impurities and disease being transferred from the human to the animal. The law of Moses contained various dietary laws. Food restrictions permitted the eating of clean animals, while forbidding the eating of unclean animals. The distinction of which animals were clean and which were not clean is detailed in Leviticus 11. Both the pig and the dog, by the criteria of Leviticus, would be unclean. When Mephibosheth called himself a dead dog, he was lowering himself to the lowest possible realm. Not only did he liken himself to an unclean scavenger, but he portrayed himself as a dog in its worst possible state, death. The Levitical rule was that a dead dog or any dead unclean animal should not be touched. If it was touched, even accidentally, it made the one who touched it unclean until evening. As a verbal sign of humility, Mephibosheth could have said nothing more to King David to show the differences in their positions. David was the king, while Mephibosheth, Saul's grandson, was a dead dog. Amen. This is the end of the Bible reading today. Thanks for joining me. God bless you. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow again.